Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rock and Roll podcast. Check out this record. My name is Mark, and with me, as always, is my good buddy, Frank.
Hey, Mark. Hello, listeners.
Listeners who play along at home know you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and wherever you find high-quality podcasts.
That's right, Mark. New episodes drip to the drop to your ears every Friday, and of course, for your listening pleasure.
For our new listeners out there, I don't even know what that word coming out of my mouth was supposed to be. This is a podcast where Frank and I recommend albums to each other to check out and give each other a thorough and honest review of what we thought of the record. We also have a wide variety of musical discussions, like our Spotlight series, where we'll dig into a band's entire catalog and see what comes out the other side.
Or in our Versus series, where we pit two albums against each other and they duke it out. You ready for this, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
For total stereo domination.
So Frank's been drinking whiskey, and I like when he does because he gets better and better at that domination. He took a little at the end. It was very good, though, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram, and we even have a Facebook group.
What?
Yeah, where we like to drop additional content that will hopefully leaving you wanting more of Frank's musical goodness, and of course, my random nonsense. If you've got a record you want us to check out, and you know you do, drop us a comment wherever you find us. Frank will reply to it with something nice. I'll reply with something nasty. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and give us a review and a rating. You know, all the hearts and farts you can muster. So I say this, Frank. How are you, my man?
I'm good, bro. We are continuing our chatting about Southern California punk bands of the 90s. Last week, we had our face-to-face Spotlight episode, and now we're going to talk about one of our personal favorites. I'm not going to lie about that, Lagwagon. So, Mark, let's start with the start. How did you come across Lagwagon?
Yeah, it was definitely on a comp CD of some sorts. Maybe one of the Fat Music for Fat People series. I want to say it was the song "Know It All," and having a profound impact on me because I wanted to be a rock radio DJ growing up, and then I found punk rock, and it just summed up what I feared about the radio business, even college radio. And after a few life lessons, holy schmackaroni, it turns out that Lagwagon was dead right. How about you, bud? How did you come across Lagwagon?
Yeah, I definitely remember them being on lots of comps. I recall specifically saying, whoa, this is like, it's a different brand of punk. You know, I want to say it was the song Sleep. I think that was the first. And then I went and purchased this album that we're going to be talking about in double platinum right away. Listen, they have some classical 90s West Coast shiny elements, but the depth that Joey Cape provides in the lyrics, I mean, you're not going to find quality like this in all genres of music. I'm just saying that out right now, people. I also remember distinctively that his thinking how smooth his voice was and very pleasing to the ear. So yeah, man, I'm amped. I'm excited. And I tell you what, this top 10 that we have too of our personal favorite Lagwagon songs was near next to impossible to come up with. So that's going to be really, really fun and maybe emotional to talk about. So Mark, why don't you give everyone a quick history lesson on Lagwagon and how we got to the album we're going to be chit-chatting about today?
Absolutely. One of the most profound Southern California skate punk bands ever, originally called Section 8, as apparently many bands back then were. Lagwagon changed their name to what we now know based on the song that they wrote, which appears on their first album, about their unreliable van of the same name, at the recommendation of Fat Records' Fat Mike while working on the debut album, Duh. After the successful release of their second album, Trash, the band was made a handful of offers to go major label, but turned them down. Hoss was released on November 21st, 1995 by Fat Records and produced by Ryan Green. The record is the last with original lineup, which features Joey Cape, aka the Caper, on vocals, Chris Flippin on guitar, Jesse Bouguillon on bass, and is the last Lagwagon album, Peepers, my tongue is tied, to feature drummer Derek, I'm going to screw this last name, Plowder, I got that pretty close.
Yeah.
Before his departure in 1996 and subsequent death in 2005, and guitarist Sean Dewey before his departure in 1997.
Don't want to do it, Dewey. And real quick, I went off camera because when I picked up the drink, the coaster fell on the keyboard, therefore
Oh no.
hitting the stop video. But now I am back, so that's why that happened.
All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank's first night drinking whiskey.
There you go.
On camera with us.
On camera with us. So
we're gonna jump right into the album.
Let's shovel. Let's get our shovels, man. Let's dig into it, Mark.
Absolutely. You loved writing that line, didn't you?
Yes. Because I got very aggressive right there that I had to say it before you kind of skipped over.
That's good. Yeah, it's cool. Track 1, Kids Don't Like to Share. Great track, but the opening is a bit odd if you don't have the volume up, as it can appear to have like a 30-second delay before Joey comes in and kicks off the song. The album starts with what I believe are essentially chords being strummed on the bass guitar. Is that correct, Frank?
Yes, that is correct. It
sets this nice little somber tone for the album, because this is comparatively compared to Dough and Trash. It's certainly a less silly record than those are.
Yes.
And these opening notes really do kind of give you that feeling. But like I said, you have to have that volume up, because I know the first time I went, when Frank and I decided we were going to do this, I put it on and I was like, what is this like 20-second intro? And I just didn't have it up loud enough. So I started it over. I turned it way up and I remembered, oh, that's right, there are those chords there.
Yeah.
With that said, the song totally rules. It's chock full of like cool parts, and the caper does a great job of giving you enough lines to keep you just glued to the speaker to hear what he's going to say next. I really love this song.
Yeah. Right off the bat, you see how Cape's writing abilities have blossomed over the past 2 records, and that's not to say that it was inferior over the past 2 records at all. What I got out of this was lots of cool religious undertones here, and super descriptive in this universal way that he puts the words. And honestly, you could apply it to so many facets of life, which is just genius. I mean, the vocabulary used is so perfectly placed, and to me, it makes a song like this very memorable. So it's nice, fast, short, and punchy. So great opening track. Next, we got Violence. I mean, this is a staple song for the band. I think we could both agree on that. Violence, another way to say violence. This is one of those songs where when I was younger, it hit me on just how important good lyrics are. And I'll just say a couple too that are my favorite. I wake with your replacement, a bottle in my grasp, in an unfamiliar place, because you put me out, the butt of a sick joke, into this ashtray life as you come and go, because I forgot to service you and we broke down and you can't live with my mistakes. I mean, it's fantastic. The music itself, with regards to progressions, isn't anything we haven't heard of before in so many songs. But when you layer it with lyrics like this and a catchy melody, man, it becomes a classic. It's just an amazing song, Mark.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is the first song of which on this record where Joey pulls a little trick, which makes it feel like he's morphing one word into another. It's really cool. It really keeps the listener engaged, and it makes singing along that much more fun. Track 3 is Name Dropping. Here we have the band exploring the world of gossip and how it can mislabel and mischaracterize people. Seemingly all the people who are name dropped are in the band or connected to the band in some way. We get these amazing lines. I was really smart enough to dodge the careless words. You find them everywhere. It breaks you into two. I mean, just fucking killer lyrics, man.
Yeah. Another fun, fast punk tune. I mean, the name dropping is well served, as the caper is dropping lots of people again that he knows and is in his universe in the song. Not much else to say other than I like it, and I even like it very much after Violence too. So I think it's really cool. Track 4, we get Bombs Away. This is one of those songs where I remember listening to it when I was younger and being like, oh, okay, cool, but let me get a couple tracks down to sleep, because that's what I wanted to. But when you just listen to it and pick up on its structure, it's a really, really enjoyable tune. Mark, what'd you think of Bombs Away?
Yeah, I really dig this tune. It's got really fast parts and really cool changes and some great harmonies. I think we're talking about truth bombs here, buddy. As it would appear, he'd be talking to a young lady who's complicated about, complaining about her life,
Yeah.
and the process thereof. It's really cool. And again, we're doing the bombs away into bombs await,
Yes.
and how he's delivering those lyrics. It's really cool. And musically, I know a lot of people will classify this as just, 90s SoCal skate punk. But it's so tight. The riffs are so clean.
Oh,
It's just awesome.
yeah.
So with that said, the next track is
Yeah.
Move It Bar.
Maybe I will.
I would love to know who or what this song is about. Clearly a complex situation. If you check out those lyrics, we get some really cool bass parts here from Jesse Buglione, and the band as a whole does an amazing job with this unique off rhythm interlude between the verses and choruses. It's a really cool track. I kind of love this song.
Yeah, I never really appreciated this one until I heard the version from the first acoustic Joey Cape and Tony Sly, Volume 1. It added a whole new element for me, and that led me to appreciating this tune and the original recording of this. I mean, how often do you hear bowling race car driver, superficial hitman in a song? I mean, you just don't hear that every day. It's really cool, really cool. Now we get Sleep. Mark, I feel like this is another staple song for the Wagon. I
Mhm.
mean, you get this clean chord strumming in the verses, and it instantly hooks you. And then it builds with distortion, and the chorus gets fast and punchy, and punky too. Very cool, man. And the lyrics, I mean, they're fun and they're catchy. It's a really good song. What about you?
Yeah, very smart version of the classic "I'm sick of being on tour" song,
Yeah.
complete with a fantasy of what he'll do when he gets home. I'm sure this was written in a sleepless night in the van, but um, very, very much a staple of the times that you would have a song like this, but so well done, so well delivered. It's a great track. Track 7 is Sick. Musically, we get Lagwagon doing everything that they do so fucking well. Big chords that sway you and move you, fast, punchy parts that keep your legs tapping, and cutting lyrics that leave you feeling kind of exposed. It's absolutely stunning, from the depiction of being trapped in a closet to the praise of medication, until it takes over your life and your identity. Just absolutely stunning.
Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, listen, this is one of my faves, and stay tuned to see if it makes my top 10. It does. I can't even begin to stress on how well the lyrics are here. I mean, I'm ashamed to mention my English, but silence lies empty. Those three words, silence lies empty. Incredible. Do yourself a favor and put on the live and the dive version, where at the end they all join in to sing those lyrics. I mean, that's something special right there in music when that happens. And what we have here is someone being sick of being sick. Cape touches on all those elements here, from narcissism, self-loathing, psychosomatic, and anguish. I mean, again, another lyric starting with "a life cried wolf" just shows the desperation this person is feeling. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
Now we have Rifle. We get this strumming style made famous again by those West Coast '90s punk bands, and the heavy elements that bring us back kind of to the first two records, where there were some signs of metal influence. Um, Simple lyrics, but are they? Right? At first, you might think, but the placement of things like Rifle, Born Wrong, Born Right, again, powerful. The placement is brilliant. Mark.
Yeah, Frank really nailed it. On the outside, this is just a fast punk tune with some simple angry lyrics. But if you take the time to see what he's angry about, you'll see this isn't about a dude being pissed off at another dude, but
Right.
it's even about looking inward and rifling through one's self to understand who he is despite what others think. Or at least that's what I got out of it. I mean,
Sure.
certainly it's up to interpretation. I was also under the impression for a very long time that the line was "rifle, right for me," but I couldn't find any lyric websites that would support that. So he's just singing "rifle, rifle, rifle." Me, but still, take a listen to it. Really interesting the way he uses pronunciation to pull the listener in, and using a word like "rifle" and what we associate that to mean. I mean, the song totally rips. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Track 9 is Weak. Weak with an A. So we're not talking about weak on a calendar. We're talking about a strength. Nothing about this track is weak. It's aggressive and punchy. It totally kicks ass. This one, this is a classic to me, Frank. More of those awesome introspective lyrics that just make Lagwagon an absolute treasure.
Yeah, I mean, another prime example of how Cape's lyrics really can be applied to a variety of situations in life. You take something again like the term weak and wrap it around all the characteristics of how the word makes someone feel or experience based on what they're going for or going through. And to me, man, that's what makes it memorable. Musically, it's super fast, and I like how in the middle of the record, the songs actually get more aggressive and faster. That's really really cool.
Mhm.
Um, I like that, especially these last three, one right after another is great.
Yeah.
Next, we have Black Eyes. This is another one of those songs where I would just love to see this at inception and see really what it was truly about. I mean, the music is fitting for the album. I wouldn't say it's one of my faves, but the descriptive lyrics like this, how can you not want to be intrigued to know what this is about?
Yeah, I think this is another example of the caper being just self-deprecating and trying to understand who he is. Lyrics like "I should have known him, that heathen's me." If you're not looking for it with this song, um, it'll come and go, and you'll move on and never notice how cool it was. But if you really break this song down and look at what he's doing lyrically, it's just such a much deeper and profound song than I think most people would have guessed. Really, really cool song. Track 11 is Bro Department, fast and punchy. It is kind of cool, Frank. You mentioned how the back half of this album doesn't slow down at all.
Yeah.
The album really never slows down at all. It's not blazing fast out of the gate, but it picks up speed and short of a few interludes, never really slows down. Lyrically, back to Bro Department, anyways. Back to a similar content as Black Eye and Weak. They work with this album, but being 14 tracks, it's not surprising me that we're getting some of the same tracks repeated here, or some of the same themes, excuse me, from song to song. And it sounds like Joey was really trying to work through some stuff on this record. So I definitely dig Bro Department.
Yeah, same here, and not much else to say other. I mean, because I'm going to piggyback on what you said too. Um, a lot of same themes repeating here, and I like it. It's a very very catchy tune. Next, we have Razor Burn, which is another highlight for me. I love Razor Burn as a theme for facial hair grown after a breakup. I mean, that's very very smart. You get Don Juan in Italy, Mountain Man dressing in black like Johnny Cash, Sherry Lynn Finn from the actress from the show Twin Peaks, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. The song is just super fun, man. Cool theme.
Yeah, Frank nailed it. Plus, I'll add one of my favorite lyrics anywhere appears in this song. Look like a wise man, but I'm an idiot.
Idiot. Oh, so good. So good.
Plus, I love the use of "Come All Ye Faithful" right at the end, as just kind of a break before the final outro. It's really cool. It's a much smarter song about dealing with breaking up and relationships ending than I think people want to give it credit for. And I certainly think, as far as like Lagwagon classics go, it's easily on the list. 13, shaving your head. So for not shaving your face to shaving your head, I'd love to know what Joey's inspiration for this song is. It appears to be an interpersonal relationship with someone who is transforming into someone or something they used to mock, and dealing with the fact that that person has changed. There's a ton of ways you could read into this, so I'm not going to try to overly think it or try to explain any of them more, because I genuinely don't know. And let Joey's lyrics stand for their own, because if you check this song out, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be redundant here, but it's another fast, catchy punk tune that serves its purpose and great lyrics. And again, it's universal in what he's saying. You could take it and apply it to many facets in life or what people are going through.
Yeah.
Track 14, Ride the Snake, a little different here with the ending for as far as the pace goes. It's almost got a 90s alt vibe. We get some phaser effects on the guitar, which is cool. I think it's a great way to end an album like this. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I dig that the whole track has kind of that mid-tempo alt sound to it. Lyrically, we're getting more interpersonal relationship work out of the caper, and it's stunning. Makes you wonder what is going on in his head, or at least in his notebook, because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
That we kind of blazed right through it there, Frank. Why don't we talk about our final thoughts
Sure. Then
about
maybe
Haas?
Yeah, about Blaze or Haas? Okay.
About Haas.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So, listen, what else can I say about this album? I mean, it holds a lot of dear memories for me where I would just play this loud in the car and get absolutely lost in it. I think it's a piece in the Lagwagon discography where it moves them to a bona fide band. I also consider them one of these universal acts that can appeal to so many. I mean, tracks like Violins, Sleep, Sick, Rifle, Weak, and more display the fascinating and introspective songwriting for punk in the 90s, where the only other band that I could say this for, in my opinion, and there could be others out there, is Bad Religion, where it was like that. Cape does really an amazing job of taking these words and centering them around the universe of feelings. It's emotional in the sense where it leaves you exposed, but you have no choice to take a look inside, and that I think is great. The music, listen, it's fast, tight, catchy melodies. The vocals, they're used so wisely. And it's not harsh or rough, or that someone's like screaming. There's a richness here, and I personally don't feel that there's a bad Lagwagon album in the bunch, and this is definitely on the higher tier. So for me, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. So
Very nice. I adore this record as well. As their third album, we hear them get away from some of that fun kind of jokey songs that people kind of got used to from them, and we get more of a deeply personal and introspective album. No one in 1995, I think, saw coming at all. It's punchy when it needs to be. The harmonies push the boundaries of the genre. We wouldn't have gotten this record if they had gone to a major label, because there's not a hit here, and I don't mean that in a negative way. They didn't give a fuck about writing music for the radio, and it pays off because you get essentially a flawless record out of them with this one. Um, you know, it's brutally honest, and it's stood this test of time. It feels as fresh today as it did when you and I picked it up, Frank, in the early 2000s. And I just adore it. Why don't
yeah.
we? I also, by the way, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, as I think a few of the Lagwagon albums will rank for me that high, if not a little higher. Why don't we jump into our top 10, my man? You want to tell the folks what we're doing?
Whew. All right, man. I'm gonna be yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. So we're gonna do our top 10 Lagwagon songs, and I'm gonna be brutally honest and say that this is one of the toughest and most challenging top 10 lists to come up with because I adore so many Lagwagon songs, so many, and I'm still not even 100% certain on this list. So you ask me next week or 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be completely different. But I think me and Mark did a good job here. Should I start, Mark, or did you want to start?
Uh, this is a tough one for sure. I made sure to pick different songs than you did. But the fact that we're not naming every song should be seen as a small gift from us, because Lagwagon totally fucking rules. I'm also gonna skip the Haas, since we just covered the album. I'm not picking anything from that because I do love that whole fucking record, anyways.
Yeah.
But why don't you kick us off?
All righty, here we go. So number 10 is the song Failure from Double
Mm.
Platinum. I think it was on a Warped Tour like 98 or 99 comp I bought somewhere. This song has a lot of depth. Fuzzy sounding guitars, actually with Ken Stringfellow from the Posies playing, which is pretty interesting that he was on one of their albums. It's not the fastest song, but it's impactful lyrics like I could never be the one, just a shareholder of lies. I put you to bed. Then at the end we get I always knew how to fail you. Man, I mean, just freaking awesome. So Failure, that's my number 10. What about yours, Mark?
Number 10 for me is Cog in the Machine off of Hang.
Ooh.
I love the metal-esque guitar work here, as well as the Caper's use of David and Goliath as a metaphor for the cog in the machine, which represents capitalism to a certain extent, but also just the struggle of survival. Really cool. And like I said, I like that they got back to a little bit of that metal root with the guitar work.
Yeah, totally. Number 9 for me is Parents Guide to Living from Duh. This is, their early sound at its finest. It crosses that metal punk of road where it's very riffy. I watched an interview with the Cape, and he says he loves metal just as much, and he never really viewed Lagwagon as a punk band, but that isn't up to them when they're given kind of that label. And he said it shouldn't matter as long as you just make music, which I totally agree. When you're young, this hits home about you kind of just being young and doing nothing in your life. It's a really solid tune. So I love this track from the first record.
Yeah, absolutely. My number 9 pick is No Little Pill. from, I think my older brother used to listen to Lagwagon. Man, this song feels so relevant right now. Lagwagon isn't typically known for being political, and I don't know that this is a political song per se, but they certainly address some issues that are affecting us now. And of course, the idea that there isn't a pill or a fix for the world that you can just take, and that the world is what the world is, and life is what life is. It's a heavy track.
It is. It is. Great tune. Number 8 for me is Fan Fiction from the newest album, Railer. The latest album grows on me more and more. I listen to it. Nice, big, and full sound. Cape opens up lyrics with relating the subject matter to the things in the universe, such as white and black dwarfs. And then he says you could pave your Abbey Road again. A great lyrical content here. It could be one of those things, even similar to what you were referring to in the world, and kind of this is the situation and you're dealing with it. But really cool tune. Check it out. Fan Fiction from Railer.
Nice. Number 7 for me, Tragic Vision from Duh. The opening track actually from Duh. Tragic Vision has a ton of that old school kind of metal sound, but also has its own skate punk drive and energy. Look, in 92, he was telling us TV is not reality. Perhaps musically it sounds like it's from the 90s, but as far as the content goes, I mean, this song is so fucking now.
First song, first album, coming off right out of the gates with this.
TV is not reality.
So good. And
92, there wasn't reality TV yet, so.
That is true. Totally. And I think on the volume 2 of Cape and Sly, or no, maybe volume 1. I don't know right now, but I think there's just a piano version of this song, and it's really good. So number 7, I did add a song from Haas, and I said it earlier. Sick. We talked about it earlier. It's awesome. That's all I'm going to say.
Nice. I had skipped Know It All from Trash. My brain. I know I mentioned this song earlier. It's one of the songs that made me fall in love with the band. These aren't storytelling songs, but feel more of kind of stream of consciousness as the caper works through his frustration and hooks you with these just amazing lyrics about everyday ideas you feel. You should be able to write these, but you could never write these songs. It's just really interesting how they're able to pull something apart like two assholes on the internet with a podcast telling you their opinion and how they know it all. I mean, it's pretty smart.
It is. Oh, brilliant. Great tune.
Yeah.
Number 6 is it's a hidden track. I think, at least it was on the CD when I got it. The Chemist from Resolve. It's a hidden acoustic track, and there's a live version too on the Live in the Dive. I mean, these lyrics cut you right to the core. Placed towards the end of this album, with this whole record being about their drummer Derek, who committed suicide. To me, this song really captures the struggles that he faced, and it's beautiful. Don't listen to it at night though; it'll mess with you. But man, it's a great tune.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of ones that'll make you cry, Messengers. Let's talk about feelings. I fell in love with this song on the Live in the Dive album. But the studio version doesn't slouch by any means. We get this rocking number about sorting out your thoughts and trying to understand who to listen to, introspective and rocking as fuck. I absolutely love Messengers.
So good. All right, next I have, where am I at? Here we go, Coffee and Cigarettes. And this is actually both versions, the Trashed and Live in a Dive. I lean towards the live album or the live version, and I'll tell you why. Because Cape's voice, it's more mature here, and it's a little aged. It's a little faster live, and he changed up the lyrics in such a small way, but so subtle, and it's so genius. So the album version has the lyric, always a question of truth, your truths. They question my efficiency, impact the words you can't hear, shocking the words I can't write. Now that's amazing with no modifications at all. But with the live version, it's always a question of truth, your truth. They question my efficiency, shocking the words you can't hear, impact the words I can't write. He just changed those 2 words up.
Ooh.
I mean, game over. Game freaking over. I mean, efficiency and impact, he flipped them. Genius, genius. So coffee and cigarettes, incredible, incredible. Both versions.
Yeah, seriously, the top five from both of us are literally just all insane. My number five is Choke off Double Platinum.
Oh,
This is the album I truly fell in love with Lagwagon, and Choke is one of the reasons why it's blisteringly fast, it's brutally honest. Be careful the words you choose, because you'll choke on them.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a
yeah.
damn good tune, man. Such a good tune. Next for me is Live It Down, which is I think my older brother used to listen to Lagwagon. The EP rips, by the way, and this song builds gradually with emotion. Again, just listen to these descriptive lyrics. The plan is lost, and all I need to line my bed with handkerchiefs, to bay my fatigue, to build a case for true love lost and lives erased, to live guilt free in a foretold destiny. He found a hill where he stakes his claim, and he'll build a house where he'll martyr his children. I mean, this could be interpreted in many ways, but
Mhm.
I'm taking it as showing how feeble, just we are as humans and the resources we suck up. That's just my take. Again, regardless, I love how it builds. This song could be about anything with lyrical placement like that, and it's just amazing with the climax at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Number four for me is Dancing the Collapse from
Oh, I
Blaze.
love the song.
I really you can't say enough good things about Blaze. That album totally rips. Dancing the Collapse is just a killer number. It can be a little hard to define, but it's reactionary. Certainly to 9/11, he brings in some references there.
Yeah.
Where have all the honor students gone, Frank?
Yeah, exactly. And when we saw him live too, I think it was during the Blaze tour, right? So
Yeah.
we got to hear a lot of this stuff, which
Mhm.
was really cool. Um, Number three for me, it's an obvious choice because it's another popular tune, but May 16th from Let's Talk About Feelings. Um,
Popular tune for a reason.
yeah, absolutely. If I needed someone who had never heard of Lagwagon before to listen to one song, this may be it, or Violence. One of those two. Cape said it's about being invited to a close friend's wedding, and in typical Cape lyrics, man, he hits a home run. And the acoustic version is great too. So May 16th, man.
Yeah. Number three for me, also from Blaze, I Must Be Hateful.
Oh, I love that song.
I know these are the lyrics I wish I could write, man. I know I've felt these lyrics in my heart before, certainly, and reading them back, I understand my feelings so much better now. It's one of those like so therapeutic in that way.
Yeah, it's therapy.
Not that I was right or the person not giving me time was wrong, but I can feel those moments more clearly because I have these lyrics to use as a tool to understand myself that much better. If that makes any sense.
I
Yeah,
got you, man.
yeah, it's just a really great way to look inwardly and to consider yourself what what your role in your situations had been. It's really I Must Be Hateful is
It's
just
so
stunning.
good. And I think there's another slower version on the Cape Sly records too on that one. Um, as you were saying that, it made me think of how uh, introspective they are, and they're really just a self-aware band, and they make you do the same. Because where do things start? Right, they start with yourself, then you kind of go from there.
Mhm.
They're just brilliant, and every song kind of does that. Man, we're getting some tough stuff here, but number two for me, Sad Astronaut from Resolve. Man, it's such a personally deep album about the suicide of the former drummer. They were in a band called Bad Astronaut, which I also suggest checking out. And this song is sad to the bone. I mean, paints a picture so perfectly of the moments before someone does that. It's hard enough to put into words, and Cape does it. He says, "In my mind's eye, I am there embracing you. So I'm so scared." I mean, if I read any more, it's just going to start choking me up. I mean, this song is absolutely amazing, Mark.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I just agree with that so much. Number two for me, Frank, is Making Friends off of Double Platinum.
Oh, that
This
song.
this song sounds like me struggling with my own interpersonal relationships so perfectly. It feels like the caper stole them out of my brain. It's sad and cocky at the right time, righteous and indignant. You know what? It's much like I'm sure he would tell you. It's flawed and perfect at the same time. He probably would leave the perfect part out, but I can't help but look at it and go, "Oh my god, I needed this song so much." I just absolutely adore it.
Oh, love it. I mean, All right, so number one, and honorable mentions: Billionaire, Making Friends, also too. Give It Back, which is another one. Wind in Your Sail, Made of Broken Parts. Again, just to name a few.
We could do this all night.
Yeah, we can do it all night. Absolutely. Oh, all right. This is a tough one. So number one is Obsolete Absolute from Hank. I know. And of course I do this to myself. But this song just takes out everything in your soul that you've ever thought about with regards to life, where we're going, where we've been, where we will go, and just messes with you, right? It has these spoken words and then picks up in classic Lagwagon form and style. But check this out. This is the spoken word part where it goes, it is inevitable. He becomes obsolete because the things that define him become obsolete. These things are part of who he is, and now they are irrelevant. And then he names the irrelevant things like typewriters, cursive handwriting, dictionaries, encyclopedias, landlines, operators, payphones, mail, conversation, touch, sympathy, empathy, love, privacy. I mean, listen, he's laying it all out here. Especially these things that have expiration dates, machines, living features, languages. Again, I don't want to bring out my fears and insecurities right now, but man, this song is as powerful gets. And then at the end, when he's like, "Mama, Papa, save me," whew, that gets me right here, man. Gets me right here, everywhere. I just pointed to wherever, but it gets me everywhere. The acoustic version is great too on the 1 week record, and that's my number one.
Nice. Yeah, look, this could easily have turned into another Fugazi Spotlight where Frank and I go into therapy. That's why we just picked a fun record.
I feel like we're bordering that. I feel like we're getting into like some, opening some doors here.
Yeah. So for me, my number one pick off Resolve is Heartbreak Music.
I love this song.
Holy shit, does that song just rule? Could you imagine the thing you created artistically reminding you every day of your greatest loss and powerful is just an understatement. This song is really just beautiful, while still remaining the heart and soul of what the band stood for. When you think about what Resolve stood for as an album, this song just encapsulates it so well. The sorrow that they clearly felt putting this record together, the pain of loss. It's a beautiful tragedy, I think is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Oh, what a great list, Mark.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh man. So to prevent us from going into therapy right here on this episode, there you go. We're gonna let's chat about next week's episode. Mark, I yap quite often about Dire Straits and how Mark Knopfler is one of my favorite guitar players. So we're going back to 78. We're gonna look at the very first debut album, the debut album from Dire Straits. Mark, are you ready for this?
Is this the one called Dire Straits?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah. Mark's ready.
Oh yeah.
Sultan's a swing, baby. So we're gonna get into that, kind of talk about it. Again, I like them a lot, but is this my favorite record from them? We're gonna see what I think, and we're gonna see what Mark thinks too. So thank you again, everyone, for listening. Like, subscribe, suggest a record for us to review. Thank you again, everyone, and please stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.
You did it.